Hello everyone, welcome back to DevLife Chronicles. In today's video, we are going to dive into event propagation and event delegation, which are the two fundamental concepts in JavaScript. These concepts are essential for efficient event handling in JavaScript. So, let's get started. In order to understand event delegation, we must first understand event propagation. Event propagation in JavaScript is a mechanism by which events are handled as they move through the DOM hierarchy, either bubbling up from the target element to its ancestors or capturing down from the root to the target element. Event bubbling occurs when an event propagates from the bottom to the top of DOM hierarchy. Event capture occurs when events flow from root DOM node to the target element in the hierarchy. Here's a very simple block diagram that represents the flow of events in capturing and bubbling phases. In the capturing phase, the event flows from the root HTML node to P element till the bottom of the hierarchy. In the bubbling phase, the event flows from the target P element all the way up to the root level HTML node. Now, as we have discussed, that when an event occurs in the browser, it doesn't just get triggered on a single element. Instead, it propagates or travels through the DOM tree in three main phases: the capturing phase, target phase, and the bubbling phase. Let's break this down with some examples. We'll use a simple HTML structure where we have a parent div, a child div, and a target button inside. Here's our JavaScript for capturing phase. In this example, we have event listeners on parent, child, and target elements. The true parameter in add event listener indicates that the listener is set for capturing phase. When we click the button, in the browser console we can see that parent clicked during capturing phase appears first, followed by child clicked during capturing phase, and then target clicked. This is because the event starts at the window, which is the root level object, and travels down to the target element, which is our button. Now let's see how this works in the bubbling phase. Here's our JavaScript for the bubbling phase. Here the false parameter indicates that the event listeners are registered for the bubbling phase. In case of bubbling phase, we can omit this parameter as well, as the value will default to false. When we click the button, target click appears first, followed by child click during bubbling phase, and then parent clicked during bubbling phase. In the bubbling phase, the event starts at the target element and then travels up to the window, which is the root level object. Understanding these phases helps you control how events are handled in your web applications. For instance, you might want certain actions to occur before others, or you might want to stop an event from propagating further. To stop an event from propagating, we can use EventPropagation method. Let's see an example. Now, clicking the button will only log target click because event.stopPropagation prevents the event from reaching the child and parent elements. And that's a wrap on event propagation in JavaScript. Now that we have a fairly good understanding of event propagation, we are ready to discuss event delegation. Event delegation is a technique in JavaScript where we delegate the responsibility of handling an event to a parent element. By doing this, we avoid attaching multiple event listeners to individual elements, which is especially useful when you have a large number of similar elements like items in a list or rows in a table. Let's imagine a scenario where you have a list of 100 items and you want to perform a specific action when any item is clicked. A common but inefficient approach would be to attach an event listener to each item. This would consume a lot of resources, especially if the list grows dynamically. Instead, we can attach a single event listener to the parent element and use event delegation to handle clicks on individual items. This not only improves performance but also ensures that dynamically added elements are covered. Let me show you a simple example. Consider this HTML code that displays an unordered list of users. Instead of adding an event listener to each li element, we'll add a single event listener to the parent ul element. Here's the JavaScript code to achieve that. In this snippet, e.target refers to the actual element that was clicked. Even though the event listener is attached to the UL element, the click event bubbles up from the li element that was clicked, allowing us to access it through e.target. Event delegation offers several key advantages. A single event listener uses significantly less memory than attaching individual listeners to each element. Event delegation is ideal for dynamically added elements. New elements that match the criteria will automatically have the event listener. Managing one event listener instead of many results in cleaner, more maintainable code. So, to summarize, event delegation utilizes event propagation to handle events on multiple elements efficiently by delegating the responsibility of handling the event to a common ancestor element. Event propagation allows events to bubble up from the target element to its ancestors in the DOM tree, enabling the parent element to catch and handle the event on behalf of its descendants. This approach simplifies event management, reduces the number of event listeners needed, and makes it possible to handle events on dynamically added elements. And that's all for today's video. If you found this tutorial helpful, please give it please give it a thumbs up, share it with your fellow developers, and don't forget to subscribe to DevLife Chronicles for more tips and tutorials. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.